Good morning and welcome to day 44 of St Helens Morning Maths with me, Mr. Groom. Just to double check, because I've recorded it so many times now. Year 3, 1 to 5, Year 4, 1 to 10, Year 5, 6 to 15, Year 6, 11 to 20. I'll be going faster this time as we've done many of these, so don't hang about. Okay, let's have a look. First question, number 1, 100 times nothing. Well, if you've got nothing, it doesn't matter how many lots of nothing you've got, you're always going to have nothing at the end of it. So 100 times nothing is nothing. Let's clear that one out. Okay, number 2 says 697 plus 356. My very simple math, I'd take 3 off here, make 700, and then add the 353, so I'd get 1053. I will write it down using the standard method so you can see exactly how I've done that. Just as a double check. Laid up nicely. Weird size that, but that's just the way the Promethean boards are a little bit slow sometimes. 6 and 7 is 13. 9 and 1 gives me 10 plus 5 is 15. 6 and 3 and a 1 is another number bond at 10. 1053. Okay, so moving on. Question number 3. Number 3. 459. Take away 289, and again I'm already thinking I would really take away 300 and add 11 back, but let's do this the standard method. 9 from 9 is 0, 8 from 5 cannot do, so I do that. 8 from 15, 8, 9, 10 plus another 5, that's 7, 2 from 3 is 1, 170. Question number 4, hopefully we've been practicing counting in our 25s, we should have done that by now. So 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. I'll just write that out. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. That's number 4. And number 5, 57 divided by 8. That's a division. I know it doesn't look it. Let's make it look a bit nicer just for the sake of presentation. Okay, so I'm going to use my 8 times table knowledge to do this one. Counting up: 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56. That's very close. Any more would go above it, so I've got 7. And then there's 1 left over because 57, not 56. Quick way, a little method of making this a fraction. You can keep the 7. Make the 1 small, and that R, you just make it a line like that. And what were we dividing by? 8. And those of you who know your decimals, 8 is 0.125, so that's also 7.125. Okay, year 3, that's your work completed there. If you want to carry on with year 4 work, absolutely fine. Moving on then, number 6. It's 100 times 323. Timesing by 100, we're multiplying and we're shifting these columns 2 to the left. So that 3 is going to go into that column there. All of these digits have to stay exactly the same sequence. So it's 3, 2, 3 again. And then the spaces that are left behind we fill with zeros. Gives us 32,300. Moving on to number 7. 4,697 minus 987. Again, if I was doing this, I would really just take away 1,000 and add 13 back. But we will do the standard written method just to show that we'd get the correct answer both ways. We get the lines in there, try and keep it looking tidy. Let's take away 7 from 7 is 0, 8 from 9 leaves 1, 9 from 6 we cannot do that. So we take from the column to the left, 9, 10 is what? 6, 7. And 3,710. Clearing number 7, moving on to number 8. Sharing £3 amongst 5 people. Well, we know that 5 doesn't go straight into 3, so I'm going to convert that into 300 pence just to make my life a bit easier. We're going to be dividing it by 5. Let's just make this the short method of division. You could have written these out, but 300 is a large number to share. 5 into 3 does not go, so we carry that 3 over. 5 into 30 goes 6 times, and then it can't go in there. 60 pence per person. Moving on, we've now got number 9. Number 9 is quite a nice one because you have to read it, probably worth reading it twice just because of the way it's written. It's 8,796 lots of 4, or you might say 4 lots of 8,796. So it's multiplication. Let's get the pen again. 8, 7, 9, 6, multiplied by 4. Don't need to worry too much about the lines, we're only going to have a 1. So 4 times 6, 24. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 2 is 38. Get rid of that. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 3, 31. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 3, 35. 35,184. Moving on to number 10. £48.69 plus £53.75. It's money. Doesn't matter which way around we do an addition, so I'm just going to write it out the way I've read it. £48.69 plus £53.75. 9 and 5 is 14. 6 and 1 is 7. Double 7 is 14. 8, 9, 12. And another number bond at 10. £102.44. If I was writing it in an answer box, I'd put the pound sign there just to show that off. Moving on to the year 5 work now, we've got 756 divided by 100 for question 11. So 756, question 11, dividing by 100, so it's got 2 zeros, so we're going to shift it to the right twice. 1, 2. It's going to go there. 5 and 7. Notice again, the digit sequence is exactly the same, but where was the unit? The units were there, so its decimal point has to go there. So 7.56. Question 12. Okay, question 12 is a standard multiplication. 5, 4, 7, 6. Timesing it by 32. You can see there's 2 digits here, so I'm going to have 2 rows to add up when I solve this. So let's put those 2 lines in there and have an answer line there. We know we're going to be adding, so we'll stick the addition operator there. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Get rid of that 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 5 is 10. This time we're multiplying by the tens column, so we put the 0 in our answer to start with. Then it's 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22. 3 times 4 is 12, plus the 2 is 14. 3 times 5 is 15, plus the 1, 16. 0 and 2 is 2. 8 and 5 is 13. Nice number bond there, gives us 12. 1 is 5, 7, 1. 175,232. Looks reasonable. I'll check it later. It looks reasonable there. Moving on, question 13. 4.53 less than 7. In all honesty, this is quite a nice one because you can either count up or you can imagine it's 453 less than 700. What do we do? Well, I'll put it down here. 4.53. Okay, if I add on to here and it was 453, what would it need to make 500? It needs 7 to make the 60, 47, so it's 47. That would make 500. I'm going up to 700. So it becomes 2.47 is our answer. Moving on. Number 14 now. Dividing 74,000 575 by 25. First thing to note, anything in the 25 times table ends in either 0, 25, 50 or 75. You can do that. 25, 50, 75, 100, and then it repeats. We look at the last 2 digits, 75, it's there, we know it's going to be divisible by 25, there will not be a remainder. So 25 does not go into 7, carry the 7. 25 into 74, 1, 2, 3 would be too many. 2, there's 24 left over. Looking at that number, 245, it's very close to 250, which would be 10 times 25. So I know there's only going to be 9 of them. 250 lesser 25 becomes 225. So I'm going to take away 225 from the 245, it leaves 20. 25 goes into 207 8 times, leaving 7, and then 3. So 2,983. Moving on to number 15. Okay, we've got a mixture of pence and pounds, so I'm going to make them all pounds. That way it lines up nicely. So, and actually looking at that, there's a much easier way of doing it. So let's just write it out differently. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do 0.77, but I'm not actually going to have to do a lot of adding up. 0.23. The reason I'm not going to have to do a lot of adding up is because I've learnt my number bonds. I know a number bond to 100 when I see it. 77 and 23, that's a number bond to 100 or £1. So it's actually £4.75 plus £1. We get £5.75. And that's it. Much easier than trying to do all that adding up, and avoids any mistakes with carrying. That's 15 completed. Moving on to the year 6 work now. We're looking at question 16. It says 4 divided by 10. Well, actually, that's easier than question 11. You've got 4. Dividing it by 10, there's only 1 0, so you're moving it across one space. That was a unit, so a decimal point, and it's 0.4. You can also put 0.4 just to make it look a little bit tidy, but that's it for question 16. Really nice, straightforward question. Number 17, a quarter of 7. Well, if something's a quarter, we're dividing it by 4. Oh, that's very similar in essence to question 5. It's just probably easier, really. It's just for language. So how many 4s go into 7? 7 divided by 4. 1 4 goes into 7 with a remainder of 3. And remember that little trick? We keep a 1, we make the remainder a smaller number, change the R to a line, and what were we dividing by 4? 1 3/4, and we know that 3/4 is the same as 0.75. And that's all the possible combinations for question 17 there. Or the standard ones anyway. Number 18. 2.57 times 23. If it was me in a test or anything like that, I would write this out. 2.57 times 23. And it would look a lot better than this. This looks horrible. It looks like 1. I'm going to do, there's not a lot I can do. That's a mouse for you. So 2.57 times 23. Now, we rewrite it without the decimal point. By, in effect, I've multiplied this number here by 100. So I've got to remember that at the end of this, I'm going to divide it by 100. You don't really need to do that, as long as you remember the rule about how many digits you've got to multiply by. How many digits are in the decimal, I mean. Okay, so there we go, laid out quite nicely. 3 7s, 21. 3 5s, 15, plus 2 is 17. 3 2s, 6, plus 1 is 7. Get rid of them, get rid of that. Now we're multiplying by the next part. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 5 is 10, plus the 1, 11. 2 times 2 is 4, plus that 1, 5. Get 1, get 11, 7, 8, 9, 5. 2 digits in the question. Remember we said we multiplied by 100 here, so we have to divide by 100. We get 59.11. Moving on now to question number 19. Add 7.87 and 53.7. Okay. Well, I'll talk you through how I would do it, but I suppose I can do both. First of all, I'd be looking at this going 53 plus 7, that makes 60. 60.8. 8.8 plus 0.7 is 1.5, 61.57. But let's just do that this way. Again, it doesn't really matter whether we have that on the top or underneath because it's addition. 53.7, balance it out, stick the lines in. That's a 0. Again, if I had a pen, it would look better. 0 to 7 is 7, 7 8 is 5. Okay, over 1, 7 and 3 is a number bond to 10, it's 11. And 5 and 1 is 6, 61.57. Nice and straightforward. Number 20 is really, really nice. It's just, you just have to look at it and go, that's such a nice number. 5.8 is something less than 12, so it's the same as saying 12. How much do I need to add to 5.8 to get to 12? Well, if I add 0.2, it'll make 6. When I add 6 to 6, I get 12. So the answer, and there's really no working out needed, 6.2. And that's it. Here are the answers for this set of questions. I hope you'll all agree those were quite nice questions today. And I hope you enjoyed it and look forward to tomorrow's work. Thanks very much. Have a lovely day.